Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and occasionally I have a bit holder that just doesn't hold the bit near as strong as I would like. This one actually does, but I'm going to use it as an example here. I've honestly gotten rid of a lot of the ones that weren't that good, and I kind of wished I had hung on to them. And years ago I did a video on this little Wiha bit driver. I ordered one and there was no magnet in it. And I could have easily fixed that. So anyway, what I did is I explored the different diameters, and here's a 5mm and here's a 6mm neodymium magnet. So you can see there is a bit of a difference here in size compared to that 1/4 inch. And so the 6mm is probably the best right here. So what I'm going to do is literally glue a new neodymium magnet into this 1/4 inch bit holder. Now you can order these things in huge quantities. In fact, there's no real choice. You've got to get them in large numbers. But you're only talking between like $5, $6, $7, $8 for a whole big set of these. So you can find all kinds of other uses for them. A lot of people just use them to tack things up on like a refrigerator or whatever. But the next thing I wanted to figure out is whether or not this goes in this way or if I have to turn that magnet around. Now the bit does not really care, but if there is an existing magnet already in here, that might be an issue. And if I drop it in, I may not be able to get it back out because the existing magnet may have more attraction than just a flat S2 steel surface. So I originally thought also I would hold on to the magnet maybe with these non-magnetic Knipex needle nose pliers. You can see those here. So there's the Knipex. However, what I realized is if I'm just careful, I can figure it out which direction it goes, and I can insert it carefully. So what I've got is I just put it on, and it's 50-50 when you start. And then what you do is you just slowly push it in, and darn, well, that one's messed up. It's not coming out now unless I glue it onto here and try again. Maybe I'll do that. That's what happens. So I'm going to throw a little super glue onto this. It's probably a little much. Just had to wipe some off on a rag. I'll drop that in, leave it for the next one. So let's move on. How about this guy right here? This one does not have much of a magnet. You can see I've put a magnet on it. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and just put some super glue on this and drop it back in and get this guy up to speed. The super glue, it should work, should hold up. I've super glued other things on, including the snap-on pry bar that I made. And you don't really need it on the sides because this is a smaller diameter than this, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick that in and let it get comfortable. Okay, let's go back here. There, I got the magnet out. That's why we have a ton of them, so I'll go grab another one. Now here's what I wanted to show you, is that if you put it on one way, you might feel, I feel an attraction. I got a little eager there. I'm going to flip that magnet around. What do I have? This is like a rocket. Fires right out of there because of that. Magnets all over. Because of that connection. I don't know which way it was, so I'll start over. If it's not pushing out, flip it over. Whoop, just did it again. Anyway, we'll come back to this guy. That one now is secure. This now is a nice and beefy connection. So in this case, I'm going to have to drop another piece of super glue on there. Get this thing out of there. Drop that on. Let that sit for a second. On this one, this is now super glued on. So, hey, that's another option. Maybe I could come up with a use for super glued things here. It's not ready yet. Oh well, let me grab another one. All right, let's try this again. I was able to put some more super glue on it, so now I've got 2 of those here. And I grabbed another one and ended up messing that up, but I got that magnet out. This is a one of the Pickwick's -7. I've just found this not quite as strong a connection as I would like, given its, overbuilt super handiness. So I'm going to put one in this as well. And there's plenty of room because you can see the bit depth here. I've got tons of room, so cutting out, I think they're 3 millimeters thick, is not going to really affect this much. So again, I've got the same problem, but what I decided to do, I've got to be super careful because I dropped another one in and obviously had to pull that out. In fact, I'm going to have to break that off probably. This is turning into way more than I expected. I'm going to move that in carefully. It just grabbed it right out of my hand. I'm going to flip that around. I'm feeling a little resistance. So what it tells me is that this side here is the side that it's attracted to. I want that advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and put my super glue on this thing. Just a little bit there. And then drop this in. This will, I don't know if I can keep it perfectly centered, but it'll be close enough. So I'm going to let that one stew for a minute. Here we've got this opening. What I want to do is drop another one in. So I am going to grab another bit here, put that on, and try to feel if I'm getting resistance or attraction. That's definitely resistance. So I'm going to flip it over. That's correct for this kind of for whatever that magnet is. And I have to believe that they're essentially random. So I'm going to throw on some super glue there, drop this in, and then I'm done. So that's what I'm up against, trying to get these things back into useful condition, and just simply gluing in new magnets. Pull it out, the magnet's solid in there, so that one's good to go. Let's try this one. That one's good to go. And then this one, that one's good to go, because that magnet's just going to hold it. Anyway, if you've done anything like this, let me know. These magnets, I'll put links below to the ones that fit, the biggest ones, but you can buy these in all kinds of different sizes and in all kinds of different numbers. And a lot of times these just seem to use really cheap ones, so it's a fast way to kind of speed it up as long as you've got enough depth. And then you've got a good solid fix, hopefully. And with that, Doc out.